Our first activity will be to set up a secure sightline with Harris fencing, whilst we install the permanent hoarding and deliver 2 cabins that will be powered off generators, ready for the start of construction activities of the project. We will install 2 sets of site gates that will be used as a one-way system at the beginning of the project, reverting back to 2 separate entrances during the main build. We understand that the roads coming into the project are restricted, so our proposal is to suspend the parking bays on Newton Street and Lucy Street to overcome this problem, whilst always maintaining safe pedestrian access around the site. For Block H, there will be a separate vehicle entrance with biometric pedestrian access, ensuring this remote site is safe at all times. Once we have set up the secure site, we will commence the reduced dig to Block B and start the investigation works to the retaining walls adjacent to Block A. Our aim will be to utilise the existing retaining wall, therefore reducing a potentially time-consuming element of work. We will also dig down locally and core through the slabs for piles that will be installed further on in the construction works. We will then commence the piling to Block B, which will be CFA piling, thus reducing the vibration and noise of the works. At the same time, we will have commenced the reduced dig to Block A. We have assumed that the service diversion within Block A footprint will have taken place prior to the enabling works commencing. During this period, our main site setup will be installed. Our current proposal is for 5 cabins triple stacked due to the tight constraints within the site, with biometric entry restricting pedestrian access to the work areas. We understand the key for the completion of Blocks B and H ahead of Block A, and will install the 2 tower cranes as early as possible to speed up the construction within the groundworks and in situ works for Block B. We will ensure there is no oversailing of the cranes to the footpaths or roads around the perimeter of the project. We will then commence with the concrete into the ground floor slab Block B, whilst the piling is being concluded to Block A. The next element of works will be for the precast frame to Block B to commence off first floor podium level, whilst we complete the in situ concrete works to podium levels of Block A. We will utilise the 2 cranes at this point to secure a programme advantage on Block B. Block H will be constructed with a combination of steelwork, precast planks and a more traditional method of brick and block work. This will be built concurrently to Block B, with both Blocks B and H completing in August 2019. Once the precast is up to the 5th floor, we'll commence the external facade under the podium levels and the internal fit out from the 2nd floor level. The precast units come pre-finished with the windows installed and the brickwork facade as part of the sandwich panel. This will reduce the need for major facade works. All external walls are lifted into position first to enable them to be line and levelled, followed by the internal walls to tie them in. It is at this point that we will lift in the finished bathroom pods. Finally, the solid concrete floors will be lifted on top of the floor plate. This now shows the sequence of a typical room fit out. As you can see, the amount of trades are greatly reduced with the precast system. It is ideal for this project as there is less finishing work required in the rooms, resulting in reduced material handling, waste and operatives on site. The system also achieves an earlier watertight date due to the windows coming in pre-fitted along with the facade. We can commence fit out 3 floors below by sealing the floors at every 3rd floor, enabling the fit out to commence earlier and therefore gaining a programme advantage. The hoists will be installed progressively as the frame is built, along with the areas of curtain walling progressing upwards on this logic. The same logic will be repeated in Block A. Upon completion of the frame, we will commence the final ceiling works to the facade using cradles. Once the frames to both blocks A and B are complete, the tower cranes will be struck. External works will then commence to blocks B and H, ready for the first completion in August. Prior to this first sectional completion, the site perimeter will be realigned to allow for safe access to both buildings ready for occupation. Through this initial tender period, we have fully detailed our proposal for the construction methodologies, which is detailed in our submission. We've engaged our supply chain in a number of collaborative design and programming workshops. We've also held lessons learnt workshops with other Galliford Try business units who are delivering student accommodation schemes across the country, as well as holding delivering excellence workshops, which focus on our ethos of delivering projects safely, on time, with zero defects and to the client's expectations. This approach has ensured that we can confidently commit to delivering blocks B and H by August 2019 and block A by March 2020. Finally, we will move on to complete block A and the final project handover in March 2020.